I'm like, okay, little red Corvette up in here. You know what I'm saying? So it just freaked me out. So, so anyway, so that's the first time I met Mi-Ling. And from that moment, I was wondering what happened to her, because after that, I didn't talk to her or contact her at all until after Prince died. In the summer of 2016, I was looking, people was tagging me in different Prince stuff, and I was on YouTube, and this Prince video came up, and no, it was on Facebook. And somebody from a Prince group posted it, and I saw the name, and I was like, "That's the girl with the funny ass name. That's the that's got to be her." So I messaged her and asked her, "Did she remember me?"
No, you tweeted.
Was it Twitter?
I have this. I still have it. Yeah, you tweeted.
Okay, because I know it was one of the social medias. I don't know if it was YouTube, but I know I saw well, it wasn't a video. It was the YouTube audio of an interview you did.
Right.
Right. So
that was probably probably our first the first installment of this whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So then I was saying, I got to contact her, because like I got her card, and I wondered what happened to her. And boom, I hit her up. I don't know if it was 2 days later. You hit me up, and I was like, wow, this is cool, So then we started communicating, and she started telling me, about how she felt, and it was emotional about Prince's death.
Sure.
How the passing. So it had me where, once I finally talked to her on the phone,
mm-hmm.
I could feel her the sadness of Prince's death, and then she was like starting to let the floodgates open, and was telling me, story, Jerome, and and stuff, and just a lot of stuff that happened back in the day, about Prince and others in the neighborhood, about her story, her life. I mean, it was very, it was like I was witnessing someone that was at a moment in their life where they started to just purge their life, just going through their life, and had some type of and a moment, or a I don't want to use the word tragedy, Mi-Ling. I want to use some
the word brought everything back. Everything back, yeah. His death just brought all those memories started to come back.
Yeah,
right. It was a very traumatic. From my point of view of not really knowing you, and I'm talking to you, I could feel just the flood coming out. That's why when we were talking, I just let you talk, because I know how I am once I get on a roll about talking about anything and from my past that triggers me. It's like you got triggers, and I could tell you were triggered, and everything that you were telling me were just so genuine and pure and just heartfelt, and it touched me, because like I said, I've never talked to anybody that got that. She was emotional, she was jovial at times, remembering certain things, and other things, it took her a while to tell me, because certain things she didn't want to talk about. And it took at least, I would say, 4, 5, 6 months later, where she started thinking about writing a book. I mean, because she'd already told me that there were people that already was telling her she should have been written a book or whatever a long time ago, and she needed to tell her story. So after I started hearing her, I was like, you got to let this out. You got to let this go, because as much as it is a great story. I mean, of course, I'm a Prince fan, and I want to hear about Prince. But Mi-Ling's story was so powerful. I was like, you have to write a book. I mean, from my personal opinion, you have to write a book, because you have so much to say, even being Little Red Corvette was what I would call a situation for her that she battled with, positively and negatively, but mostly negatively in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So I can feel she didn't want. It was like she really was fighting writing the book. I was like, no, you need to just write a book. You need to write the book because you're holding stuff inside of you that need to come out. Period.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you have a story that I believe that can help people beyond the purple world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at with Mi-Ling as far as from then up until now.
Right.
It's like we have a bond that won't be broken. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I know her, and it feels like I've been knowing her.
Right.
Well, you came to Minneapolis for the tribute in my suite when we did the Little Red Corvette suite for the event, Darren.
Absolutely.
For the big grand celebration concert that had Stevie Wonder and Shaka Khan, and that was a hell of a, again, that's another experience that I'll never forget that night.
Yeah, you met DC and you met Gary Hines.
Yeah.
Because Lenny and I had some sort of connection after Prince died. And Darren knows all of these stories because, obviously, we worked together. We're good friends for 20-some years. So, but for me to kind of connect with somebody who I really didn't know, and trust him the way I did and I do trust him. I mean, he never... To be such a big Prince fan, some of the things I told him, he could have told him anybody. He would have been out there, but he didn't. So, plus I told him if he did, I have to kill him.
Yeah,
that's right. Now we are on with Lenny Beeson. He is a friend of Mi-Ling and also part of the Purple Underground here on Story Behind the Music as we chronicle the Little Red Corvette. And as we wrap, Lenny, what would you say briefly to those who are not believers, who are in doubt about Mi-Ling's validity as being the muse to Prince's Little Red Corvette and probably other songs?
Well, what I would say to naysayers, basically, is number one, you gotta have an open mind, and two, and I'm not the what you call the la creme of Prince experts. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider myself a Prince expert, but I've been following Prince my whole adult existence, and the thing that really locked me in is basically the time period that Mi-Ling knew Prince and dated Prince, and just the references, the sources that she has in the book. That's in the book. I don't want to give away the people that pretty much validate everything for me. That's in the book. I would just say, well, just have an open mind and just read the book. I mean, because like I told Mi-Ling, she's at a disadvantage because she comes out of nowhere. I mean, there have been a few books written about Prince back in the day and the early Prince, blah, 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 and her name is never mentioned. You don't know anything about Mi-Ling. So the Prince fan base will definitely, in the beginning, will have a side eye. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because she's not written in any book anywhere.
Right.
But once, like I said, once I talk to her and the other people that I know that she knows, after I talk to them and just the stories that they're telling me, there's no doubt in my mind that the song is either about Mi-Ling in totality or she's a part of the inspiration. But there's no way that song does not have Mi-Ling in there somewhere. I'll say that right now.
All right.
That's me. I mean, there's no I mean, we could break it down, and like I told her, once the book come out, you know, like I said, you can get a little more deep into the lyrics and the time period, because a lot of people don't remember the time period and the slang that was used around the hood back in the day. This, as far as describing the sisters of Mi-Ling's quality and quantity.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Well, well, Lenny,
there's no doubt in my mind, man. You know, and you know, like I said, you're gonna have naysayers on
of course,
on anything, any type of story that people tell that doesn't fit the usual narrative that everybody thought the song was about this person, that person, and since they've been thinking it 20 years, you know, it's like, you know, hey, you know, like a whole bunch of people just can't get over the fact that, you know, Jesus ain't white, but you know,
it is. That's a really good comparison. I think, again, a lot of the fans of Prince have a blind spot when it comes to the fact that there was Prince before he became the icon. There was him in the neighborhood, hanging out with Mi-Ling and Jerome and playing with Alexander O'Neal, and this was all confirmed for me because of my own experience, you know, working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis when I took Mi-Ling to our picnic back in '91. You know, so Jam and Jerome.
Tell him what. Do you remember what?
What
Jimmy Jam
said? Well, Mi-Ling said, "Jimmy Jam, hey, it's Mi-Ling. Do you remember me?" And Jam said, "How can anybody forget you, Mi-Ling?" And that was
nobody forgets
you, Mi-Ling.
Really?
Yeah. But so it's confirmed. Hey, man, thank you so much for that story. That was amazing, and it just continues to add to the legacy of what Mi-Ling is working on and her book. And I appreciate your perspective and your insight on it. That was you tell a great story, by the way. Very, very entertaining.
Well, I appreciate it. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to be entertaining when you're inspired. Just like I'm sure you, like I said, Prince was very entertaining in writing Little Red Corvette, the song. So inspiration comes when you're that bad. Like I told Mi-Ling, when you're that damn bad, somebody gonna write a song about you, and not just one. You know, because we can jump about the other song, but I don't want to get into the other songs. You know what I'm saying? But Mi-Ling, like I said, has a great story to tell, and I just hope that as many people that can get to read it gets their hands on it. You know, not like I said, not just the purple world. You know what I'm saying? People outside of the purple family need to get her book when it comes out.
Absolutely. So. All right. Thank you, Mi-Ling. Thank you, Liddy. You've been listening to another edition of Story Behind the Music.